So guys, the United States is sending a very strong warning to Muslims in the United States who are insisting on Sharia law. They said the United States is not going to give them any chance to practice Sharia in the US, that there are 57 countries in the world where they can go and live, and they cannot allow the US to be the 58th. Now, see how this headline here captured it. It says, if you would like to live under Sharia law, you have 57 countries to choose from. The United States will never be the 58th. If you do not agree with our ways, I will point you to the door. That means we would send you away, even if you're a citizen or not. Now, this other headline here says, Sharia law is incompatible with American values and has no place in the United States. I'm proud to join the Sharia Free America caucus. So guys, you can see that among the lawmakers, they have a Sharia Free America caucus, and they are boldly telling the Muslims that we won't allow you to practice Sharia because it does not match with our constitution, unlike in Nigeria where Sharia law has taken over the constitution. So guys, see what this headline here says. It says Democrats and the fake news media want to ignore the truth. Mass migration from regions that reject Western value is importing ideologies like Sharia law that are fundamentally hostile to our constitution and our way of life. We will not allow America to be transformed. So guys, ask me why many Muslims, many Muslims or people who practice Islam prefer to go to countries like the United States, like the UK, like Canada, like Australia. They don't like to even go to places like Qatar, even the UAE, even Saudi Arabia. They don't go to all those countries. They prefer to go to Western countries. And when they get there, they want them to start practicing Sharia law. Now, the United States is leading the front to say, we are not going to allow that. Now, let's bring it home to Nigeria, where the Sharia law is being practiced. Now, this video has been trending where a copper was posted to a school in the north. And when he got there, he found out that it was only one student that could speak English. In a class of, mature, as in big girls, only one student could speak English. So the one student now became a middle person between him and the other students. So guys, this is to tell you what Sharia has done to this country. I mean, these are people like this person here tweeted and said, this youth copper say only one person understands English language in his class. He was posted to teach. How do they pass WAEC, NECO and JAMB? These are the people who will write JAMB, write NECO, none of these languages. No wonder, the last minister for education canvassed that WAEC, JAMB, NECO should be set according to people's dialect, people's languages. So guys, this is how they are taking Nigeria backwards, because they rejected Western education. Now, talking about what is happening in northern Nigeria, the governor of Sokoto State is busy distributing big cars to politicians while terrorists are ravaging Katsina State. Now, Sokoto State. Let me take you through this headline. It says Sokoto State Governor Ahmed Aliyu will distribute luxurious Toyota Prado 2026 version to 23 local government chairmen. Each car is worth 125 million, and the total cost of the vehicle is almost 3 billion. What could 3 billion otherwise achieve? Teachers' incentives and quality teaching improvement could support training, stipend, and learning materials across hundreds of schools. Healthcare Interventions Fund, Community Health Center, procure essential equipment and subsidize maternal and child health services for thousands of women and infants. Security logistics for communities, enhance local patrol, early warning system, and joint community security operation. This will be visible outcome-driven uses of fund as opposed to vehicle purchases, that have been seen as spec. So guys, these are what Nigerians are saying now. There is this vigilante group in the north who came out recently making video like protesting that the terrorists they are fighting against have sophisticated weapons, and they gave them guns to fight terrorists. They made a video and they posted it on the social media. So guys, see what the Sokoto State governor is prioritizing upon all the terrorists happening in Sokoto State. Recently, it took Donald Trump to come from America to bomb ISIS members in Sokoto State, while the governor is busy distributing new Prado, latest version of Toyota Prado to chairmen, people who are already in politics, who are the ones carrying the money. Tinubu is busy distributing subsidy money to governors, and they don't know what to do with it. This is what they ended up doing with the money. So guys, let me show you some reactions coming from Nigerians as regards to the Sokoto State governor sharing cars worth 3 billion naira, while Sokoto State is the poorest state in Nigeria. Now, this person here says Sokoto State has the most almajiris in the north with no education. This is what the state governor is doing, and this is what the state governor is doing. And this person here said the level of wastefulness in Nigeria is top notch. Another person here said the whole Sokoto State doesn't have a single MRI machine. No public medical hospital, no clinic is well equipped. So also no public school is up to standard. And this person here also reacted saying, APC removed subsidy that the whole country is enjoying and are using the largest to buy brand new SUVs for their loyalists. Yet, they say Nigeria is broke and we should pay more taxes. We are being ruled by mental patients, and this person here says, Tinubu's style of government is to feed the elite. Let the elites control their locals, and the locals will sing their praises because of the crumbs they get. Oligarchy at play. Keep the masses as delusional, weak, and uneducated as possible to reduce any chance of rebellion. The emperor is here. This is one reason citizens keep getting poorer. It's just about handing out cars. It's not just about handing out cars, but about how the recipients are then pushed to extract or steal from the communities just to cover maintenance and running costs of the vehicles. And this person's extravagant life. All these are leaders living. Every state governor is just doing whatever they want. I hope we all see. I hope we all seeing this, Sha. And this person says, if you want to become a billionaire in Nigeria, just join the APC. APC, just join politics from the top. It's a lucrative business in Nigeria. So, guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.
Sharia law and radical Islam have no place in the United States. You know, there's a fundamental truth that I think we've got to recognize, which is that not all cultures are created equal, and they are not all equally compatible with America's governing framework. The reality is that radical Islam as a political ideology has a very different conception of freedom of speech than we have in the United States, a very different conception of freedom of religion, of separation of church and state, or of mosque and state. Islam as a political ideology is inherently imperialistic, and we see that now, unfortunately, all over the Western world.
I'm here today to address a serious issue facing our country, one that the Democrat Party and the fake news media would rather ignore. Across America, we are seeing a dangerous and deliberate effort to normalize ideologies that are hostile to our Constitution and our way of life. The result of mass migration from regions that reject Western values has brought with it growing attempts to impose Sharia law on our communities. This is an ideology fundamentally incompatible with our Constitution, individual liberty, and the principles upon which our country, America, was founded. Yet Democrats continue to push an agenda that invites these destructive worldviews to take root in our communities. That means opening our borders, disregarding our founding principles, and silencing us, the American people. We will not allow it. We will not be silent. By God's grace, the United States will remain a nation governed by a constitution, not by a foreign religious law. I am proud to join the Sharia-Free America Caucus to stand alongside my colleagues in defense of our God-given freedoms, our heritage, and the principles that have made America the greatest nation on earth.
I know that you hate me. My life is sweet like cinnamon, like a fucking dream I'm living in.
Why are you guys making noise? Ask them. Nothing. You guys are disturbing the class. If they don't disturb anymore, I'll beat them. Hey! Monitress. Tell them. Kaji. You guys should go to your seats.
People were killed on Tuesday in Doma, a community that had signed peace agreements with the criminals. The terrorists reportedly attacked the community in Faskari local government area of the state for nearly 3 hours. The local government chairman, Bala Adu, confirmed the massacre left several injured and over 100 displaced, with homes and vehicles torched. The Katsina state government had planned to release 70 suspected terrorists just weeks ago to sustain peace accords before this deadly attack. Now, this is what happens when governments negotiate with terrorists instead of neutralizing them. You cannot bargain with barbarians. Every failed peace deal emboldens them further. The question is, how many more innocent Nigerians must die before the government of Katsina abandon this deadly charade and deploy overwhelming military force? Meanwhile, reactions have trailed the fresh charges against former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and his son, Abdulaziz, as they face terrorism-related charges before a federal high court in Abuja. The Department of State Services arraigned Malami and his son on Tuesday. The allegations are explosive. Nigeria's former chief law officer now stands accused of protecting terrorism financiers. The first count alleges Malami knowingly abetted terrorism financing by deliberately refusing to prosecute terrorism financiers whose case files were brought to his office. Counts 2 through 5 charge both father and son with unlawful possession of a firearm and cartridges found in their home in Kebbi. Now, both father and son pled not guilty and were remanded in DSS custody until February 20th. Now, if these allegations prove true, this represents one of the most serious betrayals of public trust in Nigeria's justice system. And I'll take a tweet on X before I come to you. The Hope wrote, the arraignment of former AG Abubakar Malami and his son for illegal firearms possession is a serious reminder that accountability applies even at the highest levels of power. Allegations involving weapons combined with previous accusations of terrorism financing highlight how privilege and influence can be misused in ways that endanger public safety. Cases like this test the integrity of institutions and underscore the importance of enforcing the law impartially, regardless of status. I mean, I have, read both stories, one from Katsina and the deadly attack that occurred on Tuesday. 20 people were massacred. And now we are hearing that, the DSS has filed this lawsuit against our former chief law officer. And we've been talking about the idea of exposing these terrorism financiers and all of these. I mean, if these charges are true, really, worrying at this point. People have said it's political, but we are seeing this massacre continue to occur in the northern region especially.
We've often said it that if we're going to deal decisively with terrorism, we must deal with those who are funding, who are behind this. We have heard stories around the fact that they come with sophisticated weapons, these bandits, these terrorists. They have cash in foreign currencies in some instances, and that there's some people who are backing them for various interests, including, personal interests based on the resources that are in that area. Now, one of the things that we've also talked about and condemned is this peace deal that some governments have used as a strategy, negotiation with terrorists. And we've said it, and the terrorism asset says Nigeria's policy or Nigeria's stance is that we do not negotiate with terrorists.
Absolutely.
And we have seen that it has failed again and again. And it's only in fact, they should be picked up. Sympathizers to terrorists who come out to make excuses for them or say, oh, this is the reason why somebody is taking on acts of criminality and killing scores of people in these numbers. So what we are asking the Nigerian government to do, hopefully the community members can see, because sometimes they are the ones who opt for these peace deals because they feel that the terrorists or the bandits can protect them more than the government. I hope they can see that it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It has not succeeded.
Absolutely
it has
not.
failed in many
Complete
instances.
failure.
What we should insist on is that the government provides security, especially for people living in these rural areas. Kari local government was known as a hotbed until this, peace deal was until it was done away with. So we must be able to ensure that Nigerians, whether you live in urban areas, in the rural areas, have a sense of being Nigerian because their government provides security for their lives and property. We must continue to insist. We cannot negotiate with terrorists. Awesome. Now, going on to Malami, I said this earlier, that this case is a very interesting one. Number one, because of the personalities involved, the fact that, like the last tweet had said, it's a betrayal of public trust, that the person who ought to have been the number one legal officer in the country is actually accused, allegedly, of abetting terrorist financiers. One of the things I would say is that media trial, yes, Dr. Batia touched on that. Let's be careful so that the matter is in court. But very importantly, is that if found guilty, may this be a precedent for any other person who is found guilty of this act, and then also that this administration would be serious about going after these financiers. Hopefully they still have the documents, they still have the names.
Yes.
So it's not just about pointing fingers to the past, but what do we do now in the future to ensure that we tackle this and we actually finally show a seriousness to tackling terrorism by going after the big guns, the ones who are actually behind financing
Well
it.
said, Ayo, and those 20 people and their families, a really sad situation. May their souls rest in peace. Meanwhile, American humanitarian aid worker Alex Barber, who has directly rebuilt 35 homes, boreholes, clinics, and churches in Yalwata, Benue State, following the deadly attacks by terrorists that claimed over 200 lives in June 2025, has accused Nigerian officials of stealing over 4 billion naira meant for survivors of the massacre. Alex Barber says that the funds donated for the victims' families never reached the families and that survivors are still suffering in camps without toilets, food, housing, or medical care. Speaking to the press, Barber warned that if Yalwata is attacked again, the Nigerian government will be held responsible.
If something happens in Yalwata after this rebuilding, the government is liable. The blood is on your hands. We've come in good faith, with good heart, to help the people, to rebuild where nobody is helping. But you are responsible to secure your own people. And there's security here now, but we can't see that they leave in 1 month or 2 months. I can't come back and see that Yalwata has been burned and killed again. If it happens, you are liable. It is your job to protect them. And so I challenge you, I beg you, do your job. Protect your own people. The U.S. government knows what has been done here. They know the attack. They know that I am here. They know that we have rebuilt Yalwata, and they support me. Congressman Riley Moore, he supports what we're doing. He knows. He has the geographical coordinates of Yalwata. And we are all monitoring what is happening here. So please, protect your people. Do not let anything happen to Yalwata again. Thank you.
Barber has been in Benue State, helping to rebuild communities. He bypassed government channels to rebuild directly because he says he doesn't trust giving, the government money. And he has been on ground to supervise these projects so far. I've seen the homes. I've seen what he's done so far. Really commendable.
Commendable. God bless you, Alex. But isn't it a shame to us as a country that it is Alex that is coming to rebuild the homes? Alex at least can get to Yalwata. Did President Tinubu get there? Didn't they say because of the floods, he couldn't get there that day after we screamed for him to go to Benue? Oji, the next story, I'm going to give you quick comments, quicker like you've never seen before. My next comment. They said they are picking up Malami that he failed to prosecute terrorists.
Yes.
How many years is this government spent in power now?
2 years.
2.5
years.
2 years. 3 years.
Yeah.
2023
Okay,
to this time.
In May.
May.
Yeah.
Why have they not prosecuted the terrorists? You can see we are not ready.
What terrorists? They've been persecuting terrorists.
The terrorist financiers. Why have they not prosecuted them? So it's easy to pick Malamina because he didn't prosecute them. But is government not a continuum? Yeah. Don't they have the dossier?
Yeah, absolutely.
So why have they not prosecuted the terrorist financiers?
Because that's what we've been calling
Thirdly,
for. Persecute the financiers.
Are you surprised that they killed people in the area where they did peace? But the question is, what's the difference between the politicians and the bandits?
in Katsina State. Well, all right.
We deceive ourselves too much in this country. When we are ready, we'll move on. I think.
Well, now let's head over to Edo State, where controversy has erupted after a video showing a shrine belonging to an idol worshipper being set ablaze generated mixed reactions on social media. Well, in the video from Auchi Esako West local government area, a man could be heard boldly stating that the idols have no place in Auchi and that it is Allah alone that they will worship. Let's take a look.
The Auchi community, they've taken their stand against idol worshipping. There is no more idol worshipping in Auchi community, and they are taking action against it. They did not just condemn it, but they destroyed it. And inshallah, idol worshipping will not have a stand in this community. We are for Allah, the Lord of mankind, and only Allah alone we ask for help, and Allah alone we worship.
Well, in a subsequent video, a young man alleged that the king of Auchi Kingdom, Alhaji Momo, sent his candidate to destroy the shrine. Let's take a look.
Good morning, my people. Now, good morning. This is how the king of Auchi Kingdom sent his candidate to come and destroy our ancestors, the house of our fair woman. Now they see everywhere is set on fire. The Auchi Kingdom king sent people to come and destroy the house of our beautiful woman.
They say the shrine belongs to Orele River Water Goddess. I mean, we know that the Nigerian constitution allows for freedom of religion. Your thoughts, really quick.
Yes, it's section 38 of the 1999 constitution. Freedom of thought, conscience, and belief. And what it means is that as a Nigerian, you can worship whatever you like. Whether you are a Christian, or you are a Muslim, or you are an animist. If you like, an elegant word would be traditional religion worshipper. So the Constitution protects you. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in. Section 10 of the same Constitution says there shall be no state religion in the Federation or any part of it thereof. Now, what it also means is that the traditional ruler of Auchi, whom they are quoting, Otaru, the Otaru of Auchi, he has no powers to say this is an Islamic community, nobody can worship any other thing here. So if it is true that the traditional monarch of Auchi is the one who asked these people to go and destroy a shrine, they are guilty of a violation of the Constitution and also guilty of arson.
All right.
Aiding and abetting arson and conspiracy. And the question is, who is going to rebuild that shrine?
That's the question.
For the people. Because we hear when mosques are destroyed, when churches are destroyed, there's an attempt to rebuild. The state government should look into it. Absolutely. They should go and rebuild that shrine. Anybody wants to worship anything, the Constitution says you can.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we're here to hear from the monarch himself. We hope that we hear some sort of response.
Stop Christians from being killed. Nigerians are killed. Muslims are also killed. So I want for them to expand, their governing mission when they are coming to Nigeria. Protect every Nigerian, both Christians and people of other faiths. Now that said, I picked out another thing too, the General Anderson that said where there are light footprints, coming in from Africom. Africom is situated in Stuttgart, Germany, so they are operating from there because one, Nigeria didn't give them space. When they told Yar'Adua said, Yar'Adua wanted to bet Nigeria and said, no, don't give them space for Africom. So they had to go to Egypt, refused, they got to Stuttgart. Now, that said, General Anderson said, well, that the president agreed when they met in Rome. Nigerians were never told that the president went to Rome. We said he was going to Europe, an unknown destination. That is to tell you that our president is working. Our president is working. I mean, he went to Rome to engage Africom. He had a word with General Garrison, and he said, well, it's important that you bring light footprints in Nigeria to help us solve this problem. So when sometimes the president travels, people should not just think that the man is taking a holiday or what, I mean, he went to Europe. We didn't even know that he went.
No, I disagree with you.
No, but that's my opinion. Let me finish.
No, I won't let you finish.
No, you let me finish. No, you let me finish because
I disagree with you because if the president is doing this on behalf of Nigerians should be aware.
No, you are aware. On vacation.
There's a problem.
No, on vacation. He was on vacation. Not even a working vacation. It was his Christmas vacation.
No, he was in Rome. That was where the picture came out with him and Paul Biya. The
Rwanda
president.
Kagame said I never went to Rome.
That was when he was in Rome.
Oh, Kagame said I never went.
Yeah, but that was when the president was
no,
in Rome.
It wasn't in Rome. It was in Paris.
Okay.
It was in Paris. So
Picture.
yes, the breakfast picture. Kagame said.
Now.
No, there was no meeting there in Paris. The president never went. He was in Rome. So
isn't it concerning? Isn't it concerning that the president will have such a meeting that will authorize America to security meeting? Yeah.
Okay. So intelligence.
And then Nigerians are not aware.
Nigerians are aware now. Nigerians are. I mean, there are so many meetings that Trump, conducts on behalf of the American people. That American don't necessarily know if it's shrouded by intelligence when they need to be classified and all of that. What I'm trying to say is that the president is working. But now that said, I have a problem, with this light footprint. Why I have a problem with it is that in places where America has had footprints, it never ends well. That is just my concern now, because it's going to get into some kind of guerrilla warfare between them and the bandits, the terrorists. So what level of footprints are we going to see? Is it going to be limited to intelligence, where the Nigerian military have to be the ones, to get into the field and all of that? We might have Americans here on ground providing intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance and all of that. I don't have a problem with that. But when they get into battlefield, it becomes a problem, because it will get to a point where even the victims themselves will turn against the people that came to rescue them. We have seen it happen in several places. That is just the area where I have concerns.
All right. Barrister Darlington.
My take is that we have not been doing enough in this insecurity matter. Seriously. If we have done the needful ab initio, we will not be where we are today. People were, seeing this thing from a different perspective, religious, ethnic, tribal. I said there was a time when I go to some TV station, I was not allowed to even mention Fulani herdsmen or Buhari during those days. And that was when this thing was festering. They did not allow anybody to call out those people who were behind it until they became very bold. When you know that people are afraid of you, you tend to act with impunity. You tend to act with boldness. The people we are afraid of, and within that period under Buhari, they became something else. And today, look at where we are. It's even worse now, because up to today, I don't know why President Tinubu cannot call out these people. He needs to make a very categorical statement. Frown at what is going on. I mean, frown at it. Frown at it. Because when IPOB was disturbing the society, he said something. Everybody had it. He mentioned names. So why is it that he's just with what is going on? Even there was a time the Northern elite called him to come and impose state of emergency there. He refused. He didn't bother. So what is he trying to avoid? He can't talk about what is going on here. America had to be telling us what they discussed with our president. Is he not going to come and tell us these things? So how long will he continue to be afraid of these people?
The president has been condemning the killings of Nigerians.
So what I said, call out the name. Somebody is doing the killing. Look, when he went to Benue, even without the evidence, he couldn't mention. It was the Totif that told him, this is not a Fulani, this is not a farmer header clash. The man had to educate and tutor him on what is going on. He doesn't know.
At that point, what did you expect the president?
He should have give a time warning that this must stop.
But he did. He did.
I said, call out the name. If you are the one stealing, tomorrow you go to this place and see the other way people are reporting. they say this man. Won't somebody come to your parents and say, want this your son to stop stealing our goods or taking our things?
Okay.
By the time they know that you have been called out, won't you think twice before you go for another mission?
Barrister, when the president went to Benin, the first question he asked was, the perpetrators of this crime, have they been arrested?
Who are those people? Who are those people? Mr. Okoro, who are the people? Up to today.
Barrister, you tell us now. If you have the information.
I don't like the way you are treating this. Please don't tell me. He knows the president. He knows all the security details.
He said that.
Look at what he said. This is what I don't like to hear. Please, after you said they are interjecting on you. Why are you saying this now? A whole president doesn't know the security situation in his country.
Are you aware that 9 of the people that committed
I said call them out. Who are those people?
What do you mean?
Who are those people? Who are those people? Who are those people? They don't have a name, Abi. They don't have a name. Mr. Okoro, they don't have a name. I don't like the way they are doing this thing. I don't like it personally.
Barrister, hold on.
I said call them out. Call them out. Call the people doing it. Call them out. Because that's why you call other people out. That's what I'm saying here. Call them out. Tell their leader to run in your children. They are the one behind all these things. And what is wrong with that? No, call them out. But you saw who plotters now. They brought out their name. They read out their name. We don't know where they came from. Is that not something to do? Why you are with this one? Nobody want to talk about them. Nobody want to discuss about them. Nobody, and with that they are becoming very bold. Every time you be talking as if somebody doesn't know what you're saying. I don't like you are even in fact you are not helping the president. We are here to help him to do the right thing. The people disturbing us, call them out.
So when you call them out, you call their names.
Yes, you shame them. Yes, so when you call them and shame them.
For instance, I say, oh, there is a Darlington Agomo
disturbing
us, and then everybody goes.
Won't I think twice? If you continue to call out my name, Mr. Moses, won't I think twice before I will now go and do any other thing? Tell me, is it not calling out and shaming them? That's what I'm saying here.
You see, for us here, we can only advise government. We can't impose ourselves on government. And apart from that, Toji Bello, his name has been mentioned more than 1 million times. He's still perpetrating his act.
So,
and some of them out there that we have mentioned their names in the media, they are still perpetrating those acts. But the important thing is that government should be sure-footed in making sure that these people are reined in. You see, for me, it's a delicate war to fight, unlike the conventional war. Because the thing is turning to something else. It's taking a new shape. Before now, the likes of Gumi will go to their den, have discussions with them for the optics and all that. But where are they now? Where do you locate them? They have become nomadic. Today they strike in Benue, tomorrow they strike in Plateau, another day they strike in Katsina. So how do you now locate them? So we should just encourage those who want to assist to continue to assist and let the government be sure-footed about what they intend to do and give our military the marching order to take care of some of these people. I think that's the only way out.
Moses, do you know the implication of America, a foreign power coming into your country?
That's actually what I want to ask.
Do you know the implication that tomorrow you call yourself a giant of Africa? So what are you giant of?
We don't know how many they are.
Whether they are one, whether they are one.
It's for security purposes.
Whether they are one,
if you look at
it is an insult, an embarrassment of the highest order.
The report here, we also told that Defense Minister Christopher Musa confirmed that a team was working in Nigeria. That's a U.S. team. Was working in Nigeria, but did not provide further details.
So
Nigerians are asking for is how many are they? In what capacity?
That one is.
Are they here to provide intelligence, observe and provide intelligence, or are they here to execute? By execute, I mean carry out, action. So we are not told the capacity in which Nigeria is working with the U.S.
Moses, let's not be too emotional about this. You see, security issues are not for public consumption the way you want it. It's not going to happen. And an example was when we announced the procurement of drone. What happened the next day? They used it on us. So what are we talking about? You see, for me, the other day I was in the PCR this thing, and they were arguing about something about Boko Haram and the insurgency in the northeast. I called the man that is the spokesman that is on the battlefield. I called him, I put him on speaker, and he told them certain things. It's not everything that you come on here to tell people. Right, even as a media outfit, even when you have such information, you don't despair.
Apart from that, I'd like to say something briefly. You know, when foreign nations, you know, the way international system, the way international relations is structured, nations do intervene in other nations when there are problems. As a matter of fact, we're even lucky that we have developed countries, you know, in part of Southeast Asia. America has military bases there. America has a military base in South Korea. Between Nigeria and South Korea, I think South Korea is even 10 times.
We have one in Saudi Arabia.
10 times, you know, better than us in many respects. So nations do intervene when it becomes, and what they do is to call up the RO2P, the responsibility to protect concept, and all of that. So America coming here is not about shaming us and that because we are giant. And by the way, we are not any giant, you know. So that's what I just.
All right, let's look at another story before we go to the punch.
Do you know that a missile is more than the budget of defense?
Well, let's touch on this headline. No retreat on reforms. Tinubu tells World Bank. FG says $1 trillion economy target depends on sustainable roads. So, President Bola Tinubu has assured a World Bank delegation led by Managing Director of Operations, Anab Jedi, that Nigeria's bold economic reforms are irreversible, framing them as essential for harnessing the nation's vast potential amid its youthful population and arable land. Meanwhile, the federal government said its ambition of building a $1 trillion economy depends largely on the sustainability, safety, and reliability of the country's road network, warning that failed and poorly maintained highways pose a direct threat to economic productivity and national growth.
Moses, when you read the headline initially, you know, I was enthused, but when you started, I was enthused, but by the time you read the World Bank angle of it, I sunk, you know. I would have preferred that our president tell Nigerians, look, no retreat on the reforms. It will give me courage. But when he said he was addressing World Bank team, I said, oh, here we go again. So practically what the president is telling us that, look, it is World Bank prescriptions. They are the ones prescribing these reforms. And we know that over time, reforms that they have prescribed for us in Africa, you know, normally don't end well for us. Either because, well, we don't know how to implement them, or we just do their bidding. So I would have preferred that the president tells us, well, Nigerians, no going back on these reforms. That would have given me hope that, look, the president has thought through, seen through, and probably knows where he is walking to, where he is headed in these reforms. If you go back in history, a few instances, you know, when a nation, you know, wants to self-reinvent, they always pass through a period of self-denial. You know, it happened during the Great Society in the US under Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the other time, the one that Lyndon Johnson, you know, all those periods. If you go to China, you know, during the Great Leap Forward that failed, they had to reinvent themselves. You know, it was not World Bank that made all those prescriptions for them. The leader at that point decided, look, though we might suffer today, but our future looks better. So I would have preferred the president to say, well, these reforms might be hard now, but Nigerians, please follow me. Let us walk through all of this. But now that he's telling us that, now that Gadan is telling us that he was not telling Nigerians, he was referring to, you know, addressing the World Bank team. You know, wrong way. I mean, that it gives me that hope is apparently lost. You know.
Okay. But do we have another reaction to that headline before we move to the next one?
We have surrendered to outside powers, so let us continue like that. In economy, in security, in morality, in everything, it is the outsiders that now advise Nigerians and our president what to do and what not to do. And you are telling me that something good will come out of it. I want to see how.
Okay, a headline from the Punch that says, bandits kill 30 in fresh Kwara, Katsina attacks. Well, let's go to the big story on the cover page of the Punch.
Electricity subsidy, federal government to deduct 3.6 trillion naira from federation accounts. as FG begins sharing of power subsidy burden with states, local governments, 1.2 trillion naira to be deducted yearly.
All right, we might need to take some excerpts from that story. It's on, you can find that one on page 2 of the Punch newspaper.
The federal government has proposed a 3.6 trillion naira deduction from the Federation accounts to fund electricity subsidies in 2026, 2027, and 2028, a move designed to distribute the financial burden across federal, state, and local governments. Let's see. The move represents a decisive step by the federal government to confront the rapidly mounting electricity subsidy debt, which has severely constrained liquidity across the power sector, while also strengthening fiscal transparency by making subsidy obligations explicit and better accounted for. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Who wants to take a shot at this?
Subsidy is not a bad idea if properly implemented. Even there is agricultural subsidy in the US as we speak. And at some point there was a glut. Myself and Chukuma were discussing it when we were coming this morning, that they produced more than enough protein that the US people can consume. And I also recall that there was a time they produced more rice than can be consumed, that they were dumping the rice on the IC, inside the IC. So now, you see, this subsidy thing, if properly managed, I consider it as a way of helping the poor. But unfortunately, between the GENCOs and the DISCOs, there is a kind of corruption going on there that is so opaque. For instance, the intent of at the level of the DISCOs, the intent of the subsidy is to make sure that those who are low-income earners, and the stratification is so easy now, unlike those days when we were growing up, when everybody built around the community. Today, people isolate themselves according to their pockets. That's why you have eyebrow estates and ordinary communities. So it's easy to locate the ones that can afford and those ones that cannot afford. And what happened is, for instance, if the kilovolt per kilovolt of electricity is 300 naira, those in Bansi will be told to pay maybe 100 naira, and then government subsidizes 200 naira per kilovolt. Now, when it comes to Band B, they are paying like 200. So the subsidy on Band B is less than that of Band C. So they will pay 200 and government will subsidize at the level of 100 naira per kilovolt. Then when it comes to Band A, which some of us here also enjoy, you pay maybe 250 per kilovolt. And then the subsidy that government gives is just 50 naira, which I consider fair enough. But unfortunately, even when you talk about subsidy, these DISCOs, in their corruptive tendencies, take this chunk from the public. For instance, how would you explain a 2-bedroom flat and not a factory being given a bill of about 200 naira, 1,000 naira in a month? And if you ask that particular household, how many hours do you enjoy in a day? It will over between 6 and 8 hours out of 24, and you're now giving 200, and in most cases you are helpless because nobody wants to go through the whole work of challenging them in court and all that, writing petition and all that. So you find out that they have made nonsense of the subsidy ab initio. In the area of GENCOs are supposed to produce energy and then transfer to the transmission company, who now takes it, distributes it to the distribution company for consumers. But in a situation where you have the GENCOs claiming that they have generated 7,500 megawatts, even when you know that the national grid, the transmission lines, you cannot wheel up to 5,000 on these transmission lines as it is today. How do you now say you are producing 7,500, which means the shortfall that will be wasted, that will not be used, will now be accounted for, and then government would have to pay?
There's a report I saw somewhere that government is asking states to pay for the shortfalls in power. I saw a report somewhere yesterday.
Shortfall? I don't understand.
That the federal government is asking states
yes, now
to pay for power.
That's the meaning of this money they want to withdraw from allocation.
You see,
back allocation.
Another area that we have to also look at is most state institutions don't pay. You recall what happened at Air Force Base Ikeja recently, when how can a place like Air Force Base not pay, and their bill accumulated to about 4 billion naira? So when you aggregate that in all barracks in Lagos, if they are not paying, and then you also feel other institutions of government are not paying because they feel that they have the cover of the government, and these people are in business to make profit, they will ask for their money.
All right.
Look, when subsidy was removed, please, because we need to go to the foundation of this problem.
Subsidy on fuel or electricity?
Subsidy
on
fuel.
Okay.
We were told something, that removal of this subsidy will enable us to power all other infrastructure. That was the aim of removing subsidy, because they told us that the subsidy was the problem of underdevelopment in Nigeria. Is that not true? Now, to tell you that this is a lie and falsehood, since you remove the subsidy, are you better, Moses? These are questions Nigerians don't ask, and it pains me so much, because when they tell this lie, they believe people like me to support and agree so that I'll be a good boy. You told us that subsidy was the bane of Nigerians' economy, this and that. You know, the poor are, in fact, they are not benefiting. Mention one single benefit of subsidy removal to the poor.
Barrister, I can't recall the government saying that when they removed subsidy, they were going to power other sectors with subsidy money. What I recall, the consistent argument has been, well, that Nigerians deserve subsidy, but that only a few people are enjoying it. Because, Barrister, hold on, because a few people were now making money unduly out of it. Because the issue of round tripping, over invoicing, and all of that, and they said that, well, it was meant for the poor, but at the end of the day, that the poor people were not enjoying it. But I didn't hear the government say, because they removed fuel subsidy, they are going to have free light, free education, and free all of that.
They said roads, hospitals. I was in the studio that
what they said was that the money that was stolen, will now be plowed back to infrastructure development.
So
they didn't say they were going to power other sectors, that Nigerians will stop paying electricity.
So this other one they are talking about infrastructure, what is it for?
Which one? Did they tell you that we will stop paying electricity bill?
No. Mr. Please, let us.
Did they tell you that we will stop paying hospital bills?
Let us be specific here.
Okay. Yes.
When you said that the subsidy removal will bring a dividend and benefit to Nigerians, I am now asking you, mention one out of all the things they promised us that subsidy have solved. What problem?
Good. Barrister, you are still missing the point.
I'm not missing the point.
At what point did they tell you that because they removed subsidy that you stop paying electricity?
Well, did I say that they say you should stop?
No, that's what you said. That they were going to power other sectors.
Power other sectors. Did I mention electricity?
What brought this issue now is the electricity subsidy.
I don't like the way you put words in my mouth. I don't like it.
Barrister, we are on open air and we can replace this.
I don't.
So guys, let me quickly take you through some of the reactions coming from Nigerians as regards to all these headlines. The Sokoto State, this person say APC removed subsidy that the whole country was enjoying and are using the largest to buy brand new SUVs for their loyalists. Yet they say country Nigeria is broke and we should pay more taxes. Honestly, we are being ruled by mental patients. Oh God. And this other person here say Tinubu's style of government is to feed the elites. Let the elites control their locals. The local will sing his praise because of the crumb they get. Oligarchy at play. keep the masses as delusional, weak, and uneducated as possible to reduce any chance of rebellion. The emperor is here, honestly. Oh my God, this is really heartbreaking. God, what is this? And this other person here said, this is the reason citizens should keep this is the reason citizens keep getting poorer. It is not just about handing out cars, but about how the recipients are then pushed to extract or steal from the communities just to cover maintenance and running costs of their vehicles. And then this other person here said, politics is the most lucrative business in Nigeria. This extravagant life is all these are leaders living. Every state governor just doing whatever they want. I hope we all are seeing this shark. It's really so heartbreaking, guys. It's really heartbreaking. Now, this person here said, if you want to become sudden billionaire in Nigeria, just join politics from the top. Is a lucrative business in Nigeria nowadays. I mean, this is just it. They just leave the masses to suffer. And this other person, the poorest state in Nigeria, the 3 billion expenditure on those jeeps could have reduced the poverty level. FAC allocation are on the increase. So governors are swimming in money, but they are using it, but are they using it judiciously? And this person says states are affected by insecurity. States affected by insecurity, and we think these guys are normal. Something definitely must be wrong with them. Despite increased monthly allocation, they have nothing to show for it outside wasteful, and and that's how the northern part has been since. And this other person say, why is he buying them vehicle? I thought they are independent. They should keep fooling themselves. We all know they are not independent of themselves. The illiterate governor does not even know why he's a governor in the first place. And this other person here, Sokoto poverty rate is 96%, 96.6%, meaning only 3.4 people are living a good life. The rest are poor, and Sokoto state is the poorest state in Nigeria, but their politicians are sharing SUVs. So guys, I hope that the people are seeing it. I bet no single CT scan machine, no MR machine, no radiation machine, no ambulance in that state. Nigeria are not angry enough. I mean, Nigerians are not angry enough. And this person here say, remind me the autonomy of local government. These criminals don't buy this misplaced priority. Don't buy this misplaced priority out of care, but because they want to inflate the price and stake. If a local government chairman can't buy his vehicle, let him trek. And then this person here say, that's pipe-borne water facility, 24 hours. That's pipe-borne water facilities, 24 hours electricity, anti-venom medication, free antibiotics, street lights sitting right there. But the CIA doesn't want him to help his people. And this person said the whole Sokoto state doesn't have a single MIR machine. No public medical hospital or clinic is well equipped. So also no public school is up to standard. This should even be a northerner speaking. And this person 2026 vehicle, and Nigeria be like South Africa 1980. Hey, and this person, the nonsense has to stop. It must stop. The people of Sokoto need to urgently do something about this misfit. And this person, Nigeria deserve this kind of leader. Nigerians deserve this kind of leaders they get. The people of Sokoto don't need these things. Leave them, Jari. When they need it, they will get it by force. Are these people daft and brainless, or just deliberately wicked and heartless, solely after their lives and the lives of the people they serve? This person said the level of wastages in Nigeria is top notch. And this other person here said, how do you guys Have you guys not seen the pattern enough for you to know where the votes come from? It is not the masses. Do the needful, Nigerians. Meaning he would hold on to the local government allocation. He can get 66 well-equipped ambulances for that amount. Our politicians are evil, selfish, and wicked. What else do Fulani do best if not to squander? I mean, this makes sense, honestly. And this person here said, the same man came to NYC camp to promise 10K state allowance to corporate member. Till date, no one see or heard anything. Can you imagine? And this person, as he collect their money, he gives them peanut, just like others. And now this person here say, let every state generate their revenue they spend. This nonsense. This nonsense spending will stop automatically. You have all this money and your state is the way it is. So guys, let me know what you think about this reaction. There are a lot of reactions here. This person said, then distribute farming equipment that costs 200,000 naira to people in his constituency. I say we never ready. Yet there are almajiris littered on the streets in the state he is governed. To fear. And this person is a fraud in government, wasting taxpayers' hard-earned money. And this person, chairman don't have to worry about bad roads. Sometimes that was not shared since last month. Something that was not shared since. These guys are really balling. Saw one in Mani. I don't know what this person is saying. Sokoto State has the most almajiris in the north with no education, and this is what the state governor is doing. And this person said, thank you. Bad roads we collect 12, bandits we collect 7. So guys, let me know what you think about all these reactions coming from Nigerians in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.